50 million Americans are under a severe weather threat this Monday morning, and that number only climbs higher over the next 72 hours. Forecasters have flagged a rare level 4 out of 5 enhanced plus risk for eastern Missouri and southwestern Illinois, a designation that almost never shows up this early in the season. By Wednesday night, the full stretch of Dixie Alley, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Texas could be facing the most significant tornado outbreak of 2026 so far. 3 storm systems, 3 days of escalating danger, and 1 week where the stakes keep climbing. This is the complete breakdown, day by day. Today is Monday, May 4th, and what you need to understand going in is that each day this week is more dangerous than the one before it. The atmosphere right now is being shaped by 2 completely separate storm systems operating on different timescales and carrying very different threat profiles. System 1 is a powerful upper-level low parked over Canada, funneling cold Arctic air southward into the United States, and this is driving today and tomorrow's storm activity. System 2 is a brand new energetic low dropping over the Rocky Mountains tonight, and this is the one that has every forecaster locked in and watching closely. When a storm system crosses the Rocky Mountains, it undergoes a process called Lee cyclogenesis. It spins up, deepens rapidly, and becomes dramatically more organized as it moves onto the plains. That deepening surface low then pulls warm, unstable Gulf moisture northward while jet stream winds accelerate aloft, and that combination creates a textbook environment for dangerous rotating supercells. Wind shear, the change in wind speed and direction with height, is what gives thunderstorms the ability to rotate, and the shear values developing ahead of this Rocky Mountain system are significant. This is not a routine spring setup, and the most important thing to understand heading into this week is that the worst of it is still 2 days away. With all of that in mind, let's walk through every day of this forecast in detail, starting right now with Monday, May 4th. Monday is the most manageable day of this entire week, but manageable does not mean nothing when 50 million people are sitting in the risk area. A large marginal risk from northern Texas all the way through Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, and into southern Michigan covers a massive portion of the country today. That means folks in Kansas City, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Detroit all need to keep an eye on weather conditions through Monday evening. The primary hazards today are damaging wind gusts and large hail, with the strongest storm cells capable of pushing 40 to 60 miles per hour. Tornado risk today is genuinely low, not zero, with an isolated spin-up possible across central Illinois, Indiana, and areas near Tulsa, back toward Gainesville, Texas. If you have outdoor evening plans in Chicago, northern Indiana, the Detroit metro, or southern Michigan today, keep your radar app within arm's reach heading into the afternoon. Storms are expected to fire during the mid to late afternoon across the Chicago area, then spread southward and eastward through the evening hours. This is an afternoon and evening event. Iowa holds an enhanced risk today, and folks in the Cedar Rapids and Des Moines corridor need to treat this more seriously than the marginal risk covering surrounding states. Eastern Missouri and the St. Louis metro are watching for elevated storm cells this afternoon, with quarter to half dollar sized hail and wind gusts near 60 miles per hour possible. Springfield, Illinois, and the Central Illinois corridor are in the elevated zone this afternoon as well. Same hazards, same level of awareness required. Wisconsin sits at slight risk, and NWS Milwaukee has already issued river flood warnings for Dodge County through tonight and Jefferson County running through Tuesday morning. The Louisville and Cincinnati areas are also watching for scattered strong to severe storms through the overnight hours Monday, with wind and hail as the primary concerns. Down in the southern plains, a low tornado threat zone is developing near Oklahoma City and back toward Dallas this afternoon. Not today's headline, but real. Michigan, particularly the southern lower peninsula, is watching for thunderstorm activity through tonight, Detroit through Toledo, and possibly into Cleveland before things wind down. The overnight storm activity also brings elevated wind gusts to parts of northern Ohio and western Pennsylvania, though this stays at the lower end of the severe weather spectrum. Overnight Monday, storm activity pushes from Kansas City through Ohio and Indiana, with some of those overnight cells capable of producing isolated large hail across the region. Bottom line for Monday, this is a stay aware, check your radar day, unless you're inside that Iowa or Missouri enhanced risk zone, where the concern is genuinely elevated. Check the forecast before bed tonight, confirm your weather alerts are active, and take a few minutes to review your shelter location because Tuesday changes everything. Storm activity quiets briefly before Tuesday's sunrise, and do not let that brief lull fool you. What develops Tuesday afternoon is on a completely different level than today. I need to stop right here because Tuesday and Wednesday are in a completely different category from today, and you need to hear everything that is coming in those 2 days. A separate energetic low-pressure system is dropping over the Rocky Mountains tonight, And the moment it hits the plains tomorrow, the storm environment gets dramatically more organized and dangerous. The Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk in place for Tuesday from southern Missouri down through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and here is what that actually means for the people in that area. Slight risk days produce tornadoes, they produce baseball-sized hail, they produce damaging winds. The label reflects uncertainty about storm coverage, not about the intensity of individual storms that do fire. On Tuesday, any storm that fires is going to be working with a genuinely favorable tornado environment. The data does not leave much room for debate on that point. Significant tornado parameter values are climbing through the afternoon across Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, and northeast Texas. These numbers indicate a legitimately dangerous environment for rotating supercells. Any supercell firing in that corridor Tuesday afternoon could produce baseball-sized hail, wind gusts well above 60 miles per hour, and a significant tornado. The winds in the lowest levels of the atmosphere Tuesday will be coming from the south-southeast, very moist and very unstable, the kind of air mass that makes supercells thrive and grow quickly. The setup begins in the early afternoon around Springfield, Missouri, and just south of St. Louis, where initial storms will interact with a pre-existing atmospheric boundary. Boundary interactions are exactly where tornado risk jumps quickly and without warning if you are anywhere in central or southern Missouri on Tuesday. Watch those initial storms very closely. The most concerning zone for Tuesday afternoon and evening is the Red River Valley corridor southeastern Oklahoma around Idabel, Fort Smith, and Little Rock, Arkansas. A couple of supercells firing along that Red River corridor could be capable of very large hail and a significant tornado. That is the zone most focused on for Tuesday's primary severe weather window. Dallas and Fort Worth. Elevated tornado parameter values arrive in your area Tuesday evening, and while capping may suppress development, if any storm fires after sunset, the environment it encounters is dangerous. Regardless of tornado risk, protect your vehicles Tuesday. If you are near Little Rock or the DFW area, baseball-sized hailstones are absolutely on the table with the strongest supercells. Here is something that rarely gets the attention it deserves. An isolated tornado threat exists Tuesday afternoon, stretching from New York through Vermont and into New Hampshire. Tornadoes in New England in early May, that is not something you see very often, and the northeast setup Tuesday is driven by a separate surface low that generates enough shear for rotation. If you are in that northeast region Tuesday afternoon, do not sleep on this threat. Isolated tornadoes and damaging winds are possible, and that is worth your attention. By 9 to 10 p.m. Tuesday, scattered storms move through northwest Arkansas near Fayetteville and the Cape Girardeau area of Missouri, primarily large hail and damaging winds at that stage. Overnight Tuesday into early Wednesday, those storms cluster together and push into Tennessee and Arkansas, producing a significant damaging wind threat for Nashville and Memphis. If you are near Nashville or Memphis, get ready for gusty and potentially damaging winds during the overnight hours Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Have your weather alerts active before bed. Wednesday, May 6th, this is the day that demands the most preparation, the most awareness, and the most respect of anything we have seen this entire week. Let me be straight with you about what we know and what we do not know yet, because both sides of that picture are important heading into Wednesday. What we know Wednesday has genuine tornado outbreak potential across the full stretch of Dixie Alley, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Texas. The atmospheric environment Wednesday is one that can support significant rotating supercells and strong tornadoes if storm mode cooperates. And this region has been quiet all year. It is overdue. Here is what makes this setup especially striking. The Dixie Alley corridor has not seen a significant organized severe weather event yet in 2026. And that region is historically very active this time of year. What we do not know yet is storm mode, discrete supercells versus squall lines, and on a day like Wednesday, storm mode is absolutely everything. There are two possible scenarios for Wednesday, and they lead to very different types of severe weather threats. Scenario 1, discrete isolated supercells fire across Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. These are the most prolific tornado producers in the atmosphere. And in this scenario, the risk of significant, potentially long-track tornadoes is elevated. Scenario 2, storms organize into squall lines and clusters rather than remaining discrete, which drops the tornado threat significantly, but substantially increases the widespread damaging wind threat. Squall lines with embedded bow echoes can produce 60 to 80 miles per hour wind gusts across hundreds of miles, simultaneously destructive in a completely different way, but devastating all the same. Right now, the lean is toward clustered storm mode with a damaging wind emphasis and a handful of embedded tornadoes, but this forecast could shift meaningfully over the next 24 to 36 hours. High-resolution model data for Wednesday is not fully available yet, which is exactly why a detailed Wednesday update drops tomorrow morning with everything sharpened and updated. What I can tell you right now with full confidence, if you live anywhere from Tennessee back through Texas, Wednesday demands your preparation regardless of which scenario plays out. Let's go city by city for Tuesday and Wednesday combined, because this is where you find out exactly where your area sits in this dangerous setup. Oklahoma City and the southern Oklahoma corridor Tuesday afternoon is your primary severe weather window, and your shelter plan needs to be confirmed well before noon. Little Rock and Fort Smith, Arkansas, you're in the thick of it on both days back-to-back, Tuesday evening and all day Wednesday. Memphis and Nashville face overnight Tuesday wind risk. Then Wednesday brings the broader severe weather threat 2 consecutive days of elevated concern that require 2 days of preparation. Birmingham, Alabama, Wednesday is your highest alert day of the week, and setups with Birmingham inside the Dixie Alley corridor have a well-documented history of producing significant tornadoes. Tuscaloosa, Alabama sits squarely inside Wednesday's risk corridor. That city knows how seriously to take these setups, and this one demands the exact same level of preparation. Jackson, Mississippi, you're in the core of Wednesday's risk zone shelter plan. Confirmed before noon, NOAA weather radio on the nightstand and eyes on Tuesday evening's updated forecast. Shreveport and Monroe, Louisiana, both Tuesday evening and Wednesday keep you in play, a genuine 2-day severe weather exposure window that deserves your serious attention. Huntsville, Alabama, you are inside Wednesday's risk corridor, full stop, and you need to be fully prepared well before those storms arrive in the afternoon. Dallas-Fort Worth, Tuesday afternoon and evening with the caveat about capping. Plus Wednesday, depending on how storm mode resolves, keep updating your forecast continuously from Monday night onward. Here's a number that catches most people off guard. 1 to 2 feet of snow is forecast for the higher Rocky Mountain elevations this week, potentially the most significant mountain snowfall of the entire year. We are talking about a full-on May snowstorm arriving across Colorado, Wyoming, and New Mexico beginning Tuesday night and continuing into Wednesday morning. Denver Metro is looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow. Castle Rock picks up 3 to 6 inches, and the foothills and higher terrain are looking at significantly more. Wyoming leads the snow totals this week. Laramie is forecast for 5 to 12 inches, Cheyenne for 5 to 10, and the Front Range and mountain terrain could see even more than that. Kansas, Nebraska, and New Mexico can also pick up accumulating snow from this system, and yes, the Texas Panhandle could see snow flurries late Wednesday into early Thursday. The same week that Dixie Alley faces a possible tornado outbreak, the Texas Panhandle could see snow, and that tells you exactly how unusual and dynamic this atmospheric pattern truly is. Rocky Mountain residents cover warm season plans tonight. Plan for significant travel disruption on mountain passes Wednesday, and expect this to be the biggest snow event the Rockies have seen all year. For the Front Range and eastern Colorado plains, a few inches of wet snow is likely. Wednesday roads will be slick during the event, so plan your commute accordingly. Looking beyond Wednesday, Thursday still carries a lingering severe weather risk from Dallas-Fort Worth all the way back through Dixie Alley. Damaging winds and an isolated tornado threat remain on the table Thursday morning from Houston through Atlanta, staying weather aware. Thursday morning is genuinely important if you are in that corridor. By Thursday afternoon, storm activity weakens, and Friday looks like a genuine quiet day. For the majority of the country, no significant severe weather expected. Friday is your window to recharge. Take the family outside and enjoy the calm, but do not get too comfortable because the active pattern is not finished with us. Saturday, severe weather begins returning to the central and southern plains, and Sunday could bring another round from Texas back into the Ohio Valley. And next week, while forecast confidence drops with increasing lead time, the overall pattern keeps the southern plains and Mississippi Valley on notice for continued severe weather chances. The active pattern is simply cycling through, storm after storm, riding that jet stream anchored across the southern states, and we are in this for at least another week and a half. Here's the bigger picture context that explains why May 2026 is shaping up to be one of the more active, severe weather months in recent history. A rapidly developing El Niño is strengthening the subtropical jet stream, and that combines with the persistent Canadian trough to create a setup where cold air repeatedly overruns warm Gulf moisture. Every time those two air masses collide across the central and southern United States, you get severe weather potential, and right now they are colliding repeatedly across the same region. The Climate Prediction Center is advertising below-average temperatures from the Great Lakes through the East Coast from May 8th through May 12th, the second week of May, running at near-March temperatures. For gardeners and farmers across the northern tier, Multiple freeze events are possible over the next 10 days. Cover your warm season plants tonight and keep them covered through next weekend. On the positive side, above average rainfall is forecast for the southern plains through the northeast, and the drought recovery that began last week continues as these storm systems deliver moisture. That is genuinely good news for parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and the Mid-South dealing with drought conditions. The rain coming with these systems is exactly what the ground has been waiting for. Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, the Carolinas, and up the eastern seaboard are all in line for continued beneficial rainfall as this active El Niño-driven pattern keeps going. Here's your action checklist for the rest of this week, broken down day by day so you know exactly what to do and when. Monday Today weather app open through the afternoon and evening, especially if you are in Iowa, Central Illinois, the St. Louis area, or anywhere from Chicago to Detroit. Tonight, check the forecast before bed, confirm weather alerts are active on every phone in the house, and review your shelter location. 5 minutes now is worth a lot on Wednesday. Tuesday, if you are in southeastern Oklahoma, the Red River Valley Corridor, Arkansas, or central Missouri, shelter plan confirmed before noon. Do not wait until you hear sirens to figure this out. Tuesday afternoon, Dallas and Fort Worth, protect your vehicles before the storms arrive. Baseball-sized hail is on the table and covered parking makes a real difference. Tuesday overnight, Nashville and Memphis elevated damaging wind risk as storms cluster through your area. Weather alerts active before you go to sleep. No exceptions. Wednesday, and burn this into your memory if you live from Tennessee through Texas, Dixie Alley is on highest alert, and Wednesday is the single highest alert day of this entire week. Wednesday preparation shelter plan confirmed before noon. Weather alerts on every device, NOAA weather radio on the nightstand, and stay connected to updated forecasts all day Tuesday. And here is something worth saying out loud. The biggest risk on Wednesday is complacency. The people who get hurt in these events are almost always the ones who did not think it would happen to them. If you have elderly family members or neighbors in any of these risk corridors, call them today, make sure they have a plan, and their alerts are turned on. Mobile home and manufactured housing residents in these corridors. A mobile home is never a safe shelter during a tornado warning, and having an alternative plan before Tuesday is not optional. It is essential. Drop your city in the comments right now. Tell me where you are, what conditions you are seeing today, and whether you are inside one of those high-risk corridors for Tuesday or Wednesday. I want to know where you're watching from so I can make sure your area gets full. Detailed coverage in tomorrow's Tuesday and Wednesday outbreak breakdown. Whether you're in Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Little Rock, Fort Smith, Memphis, Nashville, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, Shreveport, Huntsville, or Dallas, drop that city in the comments right now. A detailed Wednesday outbreak update drops first thing tomorrow morning with everything sharpened and updated. Hit that notification bell right now so you do not miss it when it matters most. There will be a live stream Tuesday as the storm system develops and warnings start flying. That is when the forecast gets sharpest and real-time updates matter the most. Notifications on, weather alerts active, family plan in place. That is the setup you want heading into Tuesday and Wednesday, and there is no reason not to have all three done today. Share this forecast with someone in one of these risk areas today. That one share could make a real difference for someone who has not seen what is coming this week. Folks who are watching this forecast and taking it seriously are already doing the most important thing they can do. And that preparation is not nothing. That is life-saving work. This is one of those weeks that reminds all of us why paying attention to the forecast well in advance is the single most powerful tool we have. Knowing what is coming, knowing when it is coming, and knowing exactly what to do about it, that is the difference between being prepared and being caught completely off guard. The storms are lining up, the atmosphere is loaded with energy, and the threat is real, but every person watching this and preparing right now is already ahead of the game. A detailed Tuesday forecast drops tomorrow morning with everything updated. A live stream follows Tuesday afternoon. Stay tuned, stay sharp. Take care of your family, check on your neighbors, and stay safe out there because a week this active is one you navigate together, not alone.